Yo, what's up? Welcome to 49ers Coast to Coast. I'm your West Coast correspondent, Grant Cohn. That's your East Coast correspondent, Jason Aponte. A little late today, as always. It's my fault this time. There was a Nick Bosa press conference I was listening to. Always very illuminating, Nick Bosa.
Yeah, he's full of quotes and energy.
Yes, and today was no exception. So today we're going to be talking about quarterbacks, who we think is going to start, what Kyle Shanahan's thinking, how Jimmy looks in practice, because that's interesting. But let's start off with a question for Jason. We agree that the Seahawks just kind of own the 49ers. They've proven that. Do the 49ers own the Rams?
Well, here's the thing. I think with the Seattle Seahawks over multiple regimes, I think that it becomes more of a psychological thing with over the 49ers. With this, I feel like the 49ers have a tactical plan that the Rams can't stop. And that's something that Brandon Staley, which he runs a lot of too high, and he everything is nothing over your head, right? Nothing over your head, keep everything in front of you, which plays into exactly what the 49ers want to do with Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's a great point. Yeah, it's a great point.
So
it's a pretty good strategy against Lance, right?
Yeah, that's a great strategy against Lance, right? But with Jimmy, he's not going to really test you over the top. Right. And they don't want to give up explosives in that way, which is why basically Staley and Raheem Morris have resigned themselves to the fact of run the ball all you want. We have enough offense on our side where we're going to score points and we should be fine. You can run the ball. We're going to score. The problem is that when the 49ers play time of possession, that doesn't help them. You keep them on the sideline for 10, 11 minutes. I don't necessarily think it's that psychological thing that the Seahawks have over the 49ers because that's over multiple regimes, as much as it is the way that they approach defense and the way that Kyle Shanahan knows to attack it more than anything. So in that aspect, it's more Kyle Shanahan owns their defensive scheme and
their defensive principles, right?
Right, exactly. And he also knows that, hey, I'm not going to throw deep routes to Jalen Ramsey or leave Aaron Donald in spots where he has to quickly, or he has time to get to. So it's less about the franchise owning one franchise as much as it is Kyle Shanahan knowing how to beat the Rams at what they do.
Okay, so here's what I want to say. I think you're 100% right. And I think what the Rams have done is I don't think they've given the Niners the proper respect the last few years. I think they come into these games and they're kind of like, we're going to do what we do. It's like, all right, well, you're going to lose again. And I think they've lost, what is it now, 5 in a row? 5 in a row?
Mm-hmm. 4 with Jimmy and 1 with Nick.
And they've lost in the same way a bunch of times. They need to make an adjustment. Their season's on the line. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think they're going to do something different on defense. Whatever the hell they've been doing against the Niners, I think they're going to do something different, some type of front they don't show normally. Make some type of effort to stop the run. Otherwise, why even show up? I mean, really. So I think we're going to see something new. I don't know if it's going to work, but if they're worth anything, those coaches, they're going to try something new. Otherwise, they're insane.
You would think that. You would definitely think that, right? Like what you're doing is obviously not working. You heard Deebo Samuel talk when they asked. They said, well, what specifically are they doing? Anything changed? He's like, the same thing, really. So I don't know how feasible it is to just say, this is what we've been doing all year. For this game, we're just going to switch things up. And that's what I'll give D'Amico Ryans plenty of credit for. Like the nickname that I'm running with D'Amico is the chameleon. Week to week against opponents, he's switching things up. He's playing a little bit more man this week. He's playing a little bit more cover 2 this week. He's sending blitzes this week. He's not sending them this week. So in that way, matchup to matchup, D'Amico Ryans is doing a great job. I just don't know if the Rams are going to do that because it would literally be, hey, we've played this way for 17 games. In this 18th game, we're going to switch it all up right now. So I don't know if that's really going to happen. So let's see. I think that's what makes it interesting. The chess match is going to be beautiful.
So if you're right, then the Niners really do own the Rams in a sense. I mean, they have a schematic advantage that the Rams refuse to acknowledge and adjust to. That bodes well for this game.
It's funny because the things that people are frustrated with Jimmy Garoppolo, he exploits them against the Rams, and the Rams don't change anything, right? Like it's almost like it's a perfect matchup for both. And I guess we're going to get into what's going on with the quarterback and everything as well too. But you can kind of understand, I guess, a little bit where Kyle Shanahan's coming from with this, just because he knows that everything is going to be ball control in this game and things like that. So we'll get to it. But yeah, for me, it's not necessarily that psychological advantage that the Seattle Seahawks had over the 49ers for many years of just, this is doom and gloom. We don't want to go to that place. Not many good things have happened with multiple quarterbacks, multiple regimes. It's more about Brandon Staley, Raheem Morris running most of the same stuff, and Kyle Shanahan knowing how to attack it. Also, one more thing. The Rams are soft. When they get punched in the mouth, when you push them around, they fold. Yeah. And against good teams, they fold. The only reason they didn't beat the Baltimore Ravens is because Lamar Jackson didn't play. Yeah. The Packers beat them in a submission. Every winning team, they haven't really beat winning teams. So when teams come in and they punch them in the mouth, they tend to just take their ball and go home. And that's another thing. Like it's again, their style, the 49ers style, it's a perfect matchup for the 49ers to exploit. And the Rams haven't done anything to change that. So, I mean, and that's not me being overly optimistic. Those are just the facts. When you look at the games that they've lost against winning teams, those teams punched them in the mouth. And they just were like, all right, man, we don't want to win this game. We'll just move on next week. And we'll pound on the Jaguars and everybody will say, oh, there go the Super Bowl contending Rams.
And they essentially concede the run and the short pass to take away the long pass. Well, that's a bad strategy against Jimmy Garoppolo, man.
He's literally not trying to do that. He's not trying to do that to you.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if Jimmy plays and they do that against Jimmy, that they deserve to lose. If you can't be opponent specific at all and you just do the same thing, I understand that's a good way to defend the best offenses in the league, teams like Kansas City. But you can't beat a team in your division because of this. And that's a problem. And it cost you a home playoff game. So we're not here to talk about the Rams. Anyway, I'm curious to see if they make any adjustment. J.R. Romero, thank you for becoming a new member. Cameron says, keep up the good work, Grant. Do you think that Kyle will end up using both Jimmy and Trey if Jimmy is healthy enough to play? I think that leads us into our next topic. What the hell is Kyle Shanahan thinking? Our previous donors asked if he's going to use both quarterbacks. I mean, that's a good place to start. Is it all building up to a 2-quarterback system week 18? No.
I think it goes back to what we said last week, right? The big bad Texans rolled into town. You don't have to play Jimmy Garoppolo to beat the Texans. Trey Lance is fully equipped to beat the Texans.
They knew that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This week, Kyle isn't as sure about that. Yeah. And there's going to be plenty of disagreement on that. And I'm not here to change your opinion on that. I'm just telling you what Kyle's thinking.
It's fair to wonder. I mean, Trey's an unknown, right? Like, Jimmy is as mediocre as he is, So anyway.
Right. I know how to beat these guys.
Yeah.
We're not going to ask Jimmy to throw the ball down the field, right? So the thumb won't have to be in such a big, spot where it can lose you the game, unless Jimmy is just wildly inaccurate and just like airmailing everything and throwing interceptions. But again, the style of the way that the Rams play, Kyle knowing that Jimmy can execute that game plan, knowing that Nick Mullins can execute that game plan, probably gives the Trey people, the people who want Trey to start, more ammunition, right? Nick Mullins is a similar quarterback in the way that he's not going to take shots down the field. He's a quicker processor, I believe, than Jimmy Garoppolo. Just doesn't have the arm talent sometimes when he's off. But I just feel like Kyle is scared to put Trey in a must-win game when he says, hey, man, I think I can squeeze 75% of Jimmy Garoppolo and get this win if we're able to run the ball, keep them on the sideline and help our defense. And there might be defensive reinforcements coming in, but we'll talk about that in a little bit as well, too. So what Kyle Shanahan is thinking is he's not ready to put Trey in a must-win game just like this because he knew he could win that game last week. So that's what really got me upset about the whole mind games thing last week. You weren't fooling anybody. Nobody cares about that. This week, like if Kyle would have came out last week and said, hey, man, Jimmy's banged up. We're gonna run with Trey. I think we're gonna be in a good. Oh well, you want me to do the Kyle thing, or you want me to just?
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
All right. We want to give Jimmy the week off, and we really like what he's been doing. And I mean, if Trey, we got a lot of confidence in him and the game plan that we've given out. And next week we'll evaluate where Jimmy is, and we feel real good about that. If he would have said that, everybody would have been fine. Everybody would have been fine with it because it's like, hey, man, you could definitely beat the Texans. That's no problem, right? You can beat the Texans with Trey. But if you really believe that your best shot at beating the Rams was Jimmy Garoppolo, then put him out last week and don't even mess around with any of that. Rest him up and get him ready for this game if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle Shanahan's opinion of Trey changed based on that game.
Nope.
I don't. I think, because again, remember Kyle's opinion was that Trey wasn't ready to even compete for the job. Trey wasn't ready to come in mop-up duty in early fourth quarters of blowouts multiple times. If he wasn't ready for like the stretch run of playoff football, then why would he all of a sudden be ready to start week 18 against a good team, a very good team? I mean, that would look like a flip-flop. Now, I think that Trey should have been starting all along. I think he should have competed. I think he should have started week 1. I think he probably gave the Niners the best chance to win this week. But from Kyle's perspective, he's been very consistent all year. And for him to all of a sudden say, well, actually now Trey Lance gives us our best chance to win. It's like, so you're admitting that you were wrong all year. And now you're changing. It's like, he's not going to do that. He's going to be as consistent as he's been the last 5 months.
Right. And the hint was all of the talk all the way up until Saturday about, he's doubtful, but we're still holding out hope. Like all of that stuff, that wasn't to play mind games. He wanted Jimmy to play. He wanted him to play as bad as he could. He tried as best he could, but he said at the end, hey, I can still win this game with Trey. And they did.
They did. They were losing at halftime. It all came together, but Kyle really, I mean, he hasn't worked with Trey like that. So you saw the first half. I felt like there was a play caller who's like, I don't really know.
Both of them.
Let's see what happens in the first half, and we'll find something that works in the second half. And they did, to their credit, but you can't do that week 18. I mean, if they have 3 points at halftime, they're going to lose this game. I'll tell you that. Feel very confident about that, and I think that's probably what he's thinking.
For sure.
I do think there's going to come a time where I was going to say, I do think there's going to come a time where he has a very good feel for how he likes calling games with Trey Lance, but that's going to come with time on task together.
Right. Well, thank God the big bad Houston Texans were in town with Davis Mills, the world beater that everybody was trying to tell us about this past week. So, I mean, that afforded them that, hey, let's get our footing. Let's figure it out. The both of them look like, hey, I'm trying to figure out you. I'm trying to figure out you. You're trying to figure out me. And at halftime, they just were like, listen, man, this is where we're at. And then boom. That's what I want to give Trey a lot of credit for, right?
Yeah.
All things considered in the first half, it's not that the stat line looked as shaky. It's just the offense wasn't moving, right? And then you're like, man, where are the design runs? Why are you not taking any shots downfield? And then the second half, it was
why don't you trust Trey's arm to me?
It was like
when you asked him to throw, it was like layup, easy throw, Jimmy throw. But then on that last 38-second drive, he ripped those throws, and I think they went into halftime kind of like, all right, man, I trust you.
Yeah. The best Trey throw for me, I know that everybody loves the Debo throw, and the one that I really like was the incomplete go route to Ayuk. But the best Trey throw for me was the design throw to Kittle, where he looks at Kittle, there's a guy in his face, he pumps, and then he does what? He throws to the sticks to Sherfield on a second option. 99.999% of the time, the correct read is to Kittle. Jimmy gets it to him, and it's a 2-yard play, and you move to the next down, keeps your offense on schedule. But that is the throw that I was like, all right, there you go. See that right there? That's something that's not in Jimmy's bag, and that is the glimpse of what Trey can be if he continues to develop this way.
But to me, like that's Trey's natural skill set. What I was impressed with were the things that, like, the anticipation throws that he showed late in the first half on, because that's stuff he didn't show in college, and that's like an example of how he's improved on the 49ers. Like the throw to Debo to end the first half. That was a throw he passed up in the first drive. I remember he didn't throw left. He scrambled to his right, hit Ayuk for the first down. Great play. But from Kyle's perspective, he wants the guy who hits the throw in rhythm if it's there. And then he did it. And then later in the second half, the throw to Kittle, I think that was probably his best. It looked overthrown, but that's because Kittle got held. If you slow it down at all 22, you see that he decides to throw it, releases the ball way before Kittle even turns his head. And that's the kind of like on time throws from the pocket that's going to make Kyle Shanahan really, really happy. So that stuff. I think that he's thinking that he's encouraged, but it's a lot to ask, dude, to make his 4th start in 2 years in this game. That's a lot to ask.
You see the glimpses, and then again, the decision-making will get better, the processing will get better, but he has the arm, if he's a tick slow on the processing, to beat that. Jimmy doesn't have that. Jimmy has to be on time, look at it, then let it go, because if you don't, that's picked. If you don't throw it right on time, it's picked. It's behind. It's low. Like Trey, if he's a little bit slower getting to the receiver, just even by a half tick, he still has the arm to make up for it, to throw it over, and that's the difference.
And the legs to get out of the pocket by time and create the second play. I really like watching him play.
Right. I was excited about the pocket presence as well, too. Like moving away from a guy and not necessarily looking to run, keeping his eyes downfield. There were a lot of good glimpses. And that's really what 49er fans should have been looking at with Lance. I understand it was a must win, but you had to be looking at him from an evaluation standpoint. I want to see glimpses. I want to see what the future is going to look like. And you saw the glimpses. You see what it can be when everything is eventually going to get right. So I understand 49er fans' excitement. Shit, that got me out of my seat.
Another thing that Kyle's thinking, I think he's figuring out how to use Trey. And I think one thing he found that works for Jimmy is rolling him left. For whatever reason, it works really well for him. I don't know if defenses don't expect it, but he did it a lot for Trey early in the game. And I think as the game went on, we started rolling him right. And you see Trey sprints out so fast when he rolls out to the right. He gets out on the perimeter and like you stop it on the all 22 from behind, and you can't see any offensive lineman or defensive lineman. He's a much bigger threat to run and throw when rolling to the right, and I think we're going to see more. Anyway, we may not see him this week. I just like talking about Trey Lance. I do. I'm sorry. I do it all the time. That was fun.
That was a fun game to watch. But yeah, I mean, it's it. Yeah.
Big J says, didn't Kyle say the more Jimmy Garoppolo throws, it gets worse?
This will be a 40 run game if Kyle has his way. And that's just how you beat the Rams. Those short throws, like keep everything in front of you is what the Rams are going to do. And also keep it on schedule. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, not 3rd and 9, not 3rd and 12, not 3rd and 15. Like keep the running game going. Because remember, Elijah Mitchell in that first Rams game, I think he had like 22 runs for like 93 yards.
27 for 91. 27. I don't know why I remember that. 27 for 91.
Right.
3.5.
But that's not exactly that's not exactly blowing. Okay. That's not exactly. But the point is, those runs kept the offense on schedule on 3rd down and kept him in close down and distance.
Because if you think about it, with Jimmy Garoppolo, all you have to do is get 3 yards of carry. That sets up 4th and 1, quarterback sneak. You're never off the field. I'm just saying. Yeah. It doesn't have to be explosive. Mm-hmm. Chad says, hey, Grant, love watching your stuff throughout the week. Thank you, Chad. Seeing anything at practice of Jimmy with that thumb? That's our next topic, and we will go right there, but there's a few more questions, so just bear with us. We'll get there in about 3 minutes. Thank you, Chad. But that's the whole show. Jason, your impression needs more ums.
It needs more ums, and it needs more sharp inhales. I'm working on it.
And it needs like a little bit more nasally. Like he really talks directly through his nose. But it was great. It's the best one I've seen so far of anyone.
I'm working on it.
It's fantastic.
I'm working on it.
Who am I to say what it needs more of? It's not quite my tempo. Jeremy says, I think Trey is the only answer. Jimmy would be nice, but where's Jimmy? And we haven't talked about if they win. What then? Jimmy's still hurt. QC. I think Trey is the only answer. Jimmy would be nice, but where's Jimmy? I don't know, man. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of hypotheticals. I want to give you something, Jeremy, because you gave me something. Let's give him something.
I mean, Kyle said that he's going to wait till before the coin toss to figure out who the hell's playing. So, like, I don't even think when the inactives, right? When the inactives come out 90 minutes before, there's still not going to be any definitive thing unless we get a Schefter bomb like we usually do at like 11:30 at night, my time, before the Sunday games, where he's like, this person expected not to play plays. If we get one of those, then we'll figure it out. But as of right now, I'm going to be working under the assumption that it's like right before coin toss. It'll just be like he'll look at both of them and be like, all right, you go.
Maybe he'll flip a coin himself as the coin. Yeah. If it's Trey, if it's
No, it's going to be a two-headed coin, like Two-Face before he turns. Like he just flips in. It's going to be heads either way. He's going to be like, Jimmy, get in there. You.
Chad says, healthy or not, plan for the future and support the Rook and finish week 18 with a playoff spot. He is not going to be better watching. Yeah.
He should have been playing week 1. And then, here's the thing about him playing week 1 is it should have reset this fan base's expectations. Nobody wanted Trey Lance to start week 1 with the idea that the 49ers were going to win a Super Bowl. A lot of us wanted Trey Lance to start to kick off the development. Start it. Get it going because we already know what this one person is. Let's figure out what this other person is. Luckily, I don't make the decisions, but I think if you would have been asking Kyle Shanahan, hey, you're going into the last week of the season, you could possibly win. And I mean, you could possibly lose and be out of the playoffs. He probably might say, man, you know what? Let's go back in the DeLorean and let's just start this over again because it feels like a lost season.
Well, here's one upside of the Niners playing Jimmy Garoppolo all year. Had they benched him and started Trey Lance all year, there would have been this fantasy among the Jimmy Garoppolo stands that whatever Trey did, Jimmy would have been better. That the Niners would be 13-4 right now with Jimmy. You would have heard that everywhere. And the fact is, everyone saw that that's over, that he's 11-10 in his last 10 starts. He's 8-6 this year. He's gotten hurt 4 times in the last 21 starts. Like that fantasy of Jimmy just winning is over.
But
it's over.
At the same time, I was trying my best to not be rude on Twitter. But when Trey missed the wheel route to Juice, I mean, I don't know when Kyle Juszczyk's ever going to get that throw hit to him. But people were like, oh, yeah, kill Jimmy Garoppolo for that. It's his second start, dude. Not his 8th year in the league. Not his 5th year in the system. Like, and that's the part that it's like, there is no win situation right here. Oh, you see, he's not the only one who misses June.
Also, if
that's
Jimmy
my
had
impression of
Tennessee,
49 fans.
And Jimmy had beaten Tennessee and put up a 117 rating and missed that throw, no one would be talking about it.
Nope.
But the issue was that throw plus the 2 picks and the one that they dropped. It was all a combination of it. That's the problem. Tim says, why would we risk Jimmy getting hurt worse and be on the hook for his contract next year?
Because
you got to get that. You come this far.
Because I mean, I don't know, Tim. Because
it's the best we can do. Salim says, do you see Mostert coming back with a good contract? I think his running style would really be a compliment to a Trey offense. What do you think? Also, thank you for the awesome content every day. I hope, first of all, I want to say I hope everything's okay with Raheem.
His family first, right?
His son, anyways, his kid has COVID and it's bad, or was bad. So hoping he's okay. And I'd love to see him come back. I think, though, he's had a knee injury for like years. So the Niners would know the state of that. And you can't keep re-signing someone who's hurt all the time. I love Raheem Mostert, but that's a better question for their trainers. But he's okay.
I think what Salim means by good contract is something like a 1-year incentivized deal, something like that. Right. Or like with Verrett before, right? It's just like, hey, the upside, what you can get if he's good. And here's the other thing. I don't know if maybe I'm looking too far into this. Again, shout out to Raheem Mostert, and I'm sending all positive energy to your family because football does not matter right now. I hope everything's good with your son. But have you ever noticed any other player who's out for the year that is on the sideline with his team when it was a knee injury and things like that? Like, Raheem seems to really like it here, and he's always posting about the team on social media. He's always hyping them up. So I think that, again, when you heard Jason Verrett say, hey, I had money on the table other places, but I wanted to stay here because I love the culture. I love the training room, which is really not a good thing to talk about, really. But it's how much of that comes into this with Raheem.
Also, remember that Mostert was a journeyman before he came here.
That's what I'm saying. And the 49ers showed confidence in him, and this is where he got his break. Right. Same thing with Verrett. Nobody wanted him. Everybody was like, what are you doing with this guy? Why do you keep trying? And then look what happened. So maybe he's grateful in that same way that Jason Verrett is. So that's another way to look at it.
Fred Warner telling Lance to take more chances on scout team is telling about our assistant coaches. Shouldn't they be in his ear like that? Yeah, I did think that. He took credit. He's like, basically, I'm the quarterback coach now, and I changed this kid's mindset, and I'm great. And he is. That's great. But where was Rich Scangarello on that one? Rich, if the Niners lose this game, and I don't know if they're going to fire John Lynch, but some people are going to get the axe, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of them. Just saying, Rich.
I mean, who said that Fred isn't earning his money, man?
Seriously, good point.
Well, the other thing is this, right? Again, we talked about it. In scout team, the idea of scout team is to throw the ball where the defense is supposed to see it, right? And I think, my way of looking at it is that Lance got to a point where he was just like, you know what? I'm not going to throw it to get it batted down. I'm going to take the shot over your head now. And I'm not going to give you the look you want to see.
Yeah. I'm going to compete. Let's go. I love that. Matthew Sanders says magic number is 26 points. Niners are 7-1 when they score at least 26. Only losses Green Bay 3-5. Otherwise, if you think Lance can get you 4 TDs, start him. Well, that's interesting because they got 23 against Houston. Maybe that's part of the Niners. Maybe that's part of what Kyle Shanahan is thinking here. Maybe Matthew Sanders is a Kyle Shanahan burner account. It's possible. You can't rule that out.
Hi, Kyle. I'm trying to work on my impression. I don't mean any disrespect either.
Yeah, zero. Aussie. It's more of like a roast. You know what I mean? Where you hug the guy at the Aussie Niners.
It's like when you make fun of somebody because you love them, right? Like when you're around with your friends and you're just making jokes with them. It's not that you don't like them. If I don't make fun of you, it's because I don't like you.
That's a good point. Aussie Niners says excited for the future with Trey at quarterback, but what is our roster going to be like next season? Are we in rebuild or mini rebuild mode?
They'll use the word reload, but it's going to be closer to
a lot of free agents. But they could do what they did last year and re-sign a bunch of these free agents. Like Tark could come back if they pay him the right amount. Same with K1. I don't know if they will. I don't see the backup plan.
I'm skeptical about Tark coming back, man. I just think that they want Hufanga, and why would you want to come back to something where they're kind of grooming your replacement? Oh,
haven't seen him in a while though.
Yeah,
haven't seen him in a while though.
I mean, he's hurt, but hey,
what was the issue with Tark though? That availability. Who's available right now?
And look who's playing very well because he's actually playing.
I know they want to transition to Hufanga, but he's been absent during the most important run of the year. Maybe it's not going to be that easy. There's two different things: what you want to happen, what does happen, right? Just saying. I wouldn't write off Tark just yet, because I got a whole campaign to lead in the offseason. Ryan says, let Jimmy play Sunday and play his way out of SF for good. Part of me feels that way too. Like, oh, Jimmy's going to play? Okay, that's great. That sounds like great. Are you sure you want this, Kyle? Sure.
This team.
I mean, I'm not going to be mad, but
this team this year, this is exactly how it was supposed to happen. From the chaos from January all the way through, how could this not end up this way? How could it not be literally the fan base fighting each other, the media fighting about who should be starting? One guy's probably starting his last game. Like it's they deserve all of this. They deserve all of the chaos. They deserve all of the circus. And as a content creator, if I could quote the wedding singer, I'm reaping all the benefits.
Oh, it is. Oh, absolutely. It's the best year ever. The fact that this season comes down to the last game and it comes down to a decision on which quarterback should play.
I love it.
Good. Freaking good. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep building this up. How Jimmy Garoppolo looks in practice. All right, I've been there 2 days. You watch them for like 15 minutes as they warm up. I post it. Everyone has seen it. If you've watched my videos, you've seen what I've seen. I don't see team drills. So tell me if you've seen the same thing. My observation is the throwing motion looks a little different. He said as such, he's throwing differently. It's a little bit of a quicker release, a more abbreviated throwing motion. Also, he's not throwing very far down the field, maybe 20, 25 yards. Also, I haven't seen him take any snaps from under center. 0. It's all shotgun. So, I mean, he's gutting it out. He's being a good teammate. You can't rule him out. I think he's probably going to be listed as questionable, but I have no idea how many actual reps he's taking in team drills. It's possible he's not taking many. It's possible he's taking none. It's possible he's splitting them. But I'm guessing he's not taking many, and I'm guessing it's a little bit for the media. Like, hey, look at Jimmy. He's throwing a ball. But you don't really know the difference. You can't really tell the fact that he's not throwing it far and he's not taking snaps from under center. It seems a little bit like a show. A little bit. Anyway, what have you seen from my videos, and what do you think of him going out there and being, a limited participant who's gutting it out through the pain?
Well, him throwing the ball 20 to 25 yards, broken thumb or not,
it's not bad.
That doesn't change. But that doesn't change. That doesn't change anything. That's kind of just who he is.
Right.
The thing that I really, forget the video. Listen to this.
That's a typical day for Jimmy. Yeah.
Right. Like Mike McDaniel, he pointed out, the things that we're worried about, taking snaps under center.
Yep.
Which, if that thumb is numb, because that's what they're going to have to do on game day, is they're going to have to shoot that thing up with as many cortisone shots as he can take.
Right.
If that thing's numb and he's fumbling the football everywhere, why are you here?
Right. Because, honestly, his number one job against the Rams is not going to be to throw. It's going to be to get the ball from under center and hand off. Can you do that? Now, they could run the whole offense from the shotgun, but Elijah Mitchell is much more effective from under center, I think. I think all of his carries came from under center in the last game. So what happens if all of a sudden they have to take their entire under center portion of the playbook and throw it out for a week? What's that about? How's that going to go?
And look, there is a little bit of gamesmanship going on here. There is. Yes. Hey, Rams, check this out. You see this throw? He's ready to go.
He looks good. Everyone says he looks good. He says he feels great. Actually, he doesn't say he feels great. He says it.
You better watch your back, okay? Jimmy's throwing. All right, it's coming for you, Rams.
Your worst nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't want the jawline coming after you. Is basically what I say around that.
Pretty
but
much.
Seriously, it's the throwing motion is what I noticed, right? And it seems like it's just like ow.
Yeah.
Ow. Ow. Get it out. Ow. I don't ow. It's get it out as fast as you can, because it hurts more and more the better you hold it.
Right. Because once you go from holding it with 2 hands to that transfer to 1, now you're in excruciating pain territory. And what you want is to get it out of your freaking hand as fast as possible. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. And again, it depends on how it responds, right? So basically they're showing you what they're showing you. People are running with their propaganda, and we're not gonna, say any names or anything like that. But you throw up those videos, things like that, and then the media goes away, and he kind of just throws it right into ice, like right after, and he's just probably sitting there, like, oh God, thank God they're out of here, and I think that
because he's trying to go out there and show that he's tough and that he's not injury prone, and that the next team doesn't have to worry about him being a malingerer, all that stuff.
Again, we talked about it. We talked about it. Yeah. There's no benefit in my eyes for his trade value if he sits out, because what does that mean? It's another year that you're injured. Who wants to trade for that?
Right.
So if you show man, I'm going to gut it out. And he is.
It was a 4 to 6 week injury, but he came back in 2 weeks. And what a team player and all that. Yeah.
I'm not even trying to be funny here. The competitor in Jimmy Garoppolo wants him to go. He wants to go out there. I'm telling you. Like, I believe that.
It's really week 18, right? With the season on the line. How could you if you're any type of competitor, you want to be out there?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
No one's ever questioned that with him.
Right. This whole narrative about him sitting because he's trying to up his trade value, I think that decreases your trade value because then it's yet another year that you finish the year not playing because of an injury.
Now, I understand him like being like, I don't need to play against Houston, first of all. But this is different. This is a whole different thing. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And as a competitor, right, like you could root on your teammate. I'm not saying that he wants Trey to fail, but how do you think he feels if Trey goes out there in week 18 and wins a must-win game in LA and they go to the playoffs?
Because you made a business decision.
Right.
It's like, well, you just got yourself, you just got your own job taken. That's your fault.
So, again, a little bit of this is Jimmy Garoppolo is going to try as hard as he can. I definitely believe that. Yeah. But a little bit of this is that gamesmanship that we're talking about. Like, look out, Rams. Here he comes. And he's throwing the ball. And he's throwing the ball a little bit further down the field now. And he's getting it. And he's
because, like, worst case scenario, if Jimmy can't go, and that's what Kyle wants Jimmy to go. But if he can't, at least the Rams were in the dark all week and didn't know. Because honestly, I think a lot of people, if you ask Niner fans or the general public who's going to start, it'd be split 50. I don't think anyone really knows.
Well, look, and then the other thing is I'll point to something that is another coach, another situation, but Kyler Murray sat out 3 straight games, but every single week he was like limited, getting close. Nope.
Yeah.
Not playing.
Yep, that's true. And it's like, I'm sure from Kyle's perspective, one, that burned them. They felt they were preparing for Kyler Murray, got smacked with Colt McCoy at the last minute, lost. And I'm thinking, I bet he's thinking, well, if Cliff Kingsbury can do that, why the hell can't I? Why can't I do that?
And still at the same time, I still believe that Kyle wants Jimmy to go better than anything.
Yeah, right. If you didn't trust him to play against the Falcons when you were up by like 1 million points in the second half, well, now you trust him against the Rams based because he beat the Texans? What?
Yeah.
It's the Texans.
So that's my thing is as much as it is gamesmanship, I still do believe in my heart that Kyle he wants Jimmy to play this game as bad as he does. Like he really does. But so look, how he looks in practice, whatever, that's fine. It's just we don't see what's going on afterwards. There's no word on who's taking the first team reps unless one of the coaches divulge that. And if I was guessing, again, I'm speculating. So let me throw my hat in the speculation ring It's basically he throws when everybody's leaving. Bye, guys, I'm good. Oh, man, he throws his hand right in the ice. Like, oh, God, it hurts so bad. Like, and he has to go work on it. So
I'm guessing that Trey Lance is taking 100% of the reps this month.
Yeah, he has to.
And that's important to remember. We're going to talk about that. It's an important factor this week. Dave says, Grant, are you related to Mike McDaniel? Ha, it's McDaniel without the S. People, Niner fans, get to know your coach. But, yeah, we do kind of look, I guess we got, I don't know. Thanks. He has a nice watch. Curly hair, kind of I think I'm funnier than him, though. He tries too hard. He really comes in trying to get the laughs, tries to get the big LOL. You can't, if you want it, you're not going to get it, I think, the way I look at it. I'm just saying, Joe says, here's $5. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tristan says, hey, Grant, love your content. Have you ever thought about how big you would be if you covered the entire NFL? P.S. You're a Niner fan. I don't care.
Absolutely, Tristan. Get his ass. He is a Niners fan. Get his ass.
Maybe one day. Because I feel like Niner fans enjoy when I, criticize other teams. They're like, finally, give some of that to the Seahawks. Okay, well, we'll see. That's what I'm worried about with Jimmy Garoppolo. Fumbles. That's a good point.
If that thing is numb and it's coming right up, I mean, he fumbled on the first drive of the season against the Lions, and the thumb was fine.
And that's what McDaniel said, right? It's more than just about how he throws. Raymond says, what up, fellas? Prayers to Raheem's family. I currently have COVID, and this content definitely helps to keep my mind occupied. Sorry, Raymond.
Man. Can Jim hope you feel better, buddy.
Dude, that's the better question. That's the better question than can he throw is can he hand off? And can he only hand off left-handed? And can he only get snaps from the shotgun? If so, does he give you the best chance to win?
He's going to hand off more than he's going to throw. And here's the thing is with like Joe Burrow, right? In that game right before, I believe, the Niners game, he tried to wear the glove. He was handing off lefty. But again, he had all that adrenaline going through him, and he didn't have as severe of an injury. So, like, what's the plan if Jimmy plays? Are you going to shoot that thing up, give him a glove so maybe he can grip the ball better, tape? And he keeps talking about, well, they tape it up one way. We're trying to figure out how to tape it. So they're working through a ton of things. That's why I feel like once you guys are leaving the media, he's not taking any snaps. They're trying to figure out, all right, the tape didn't feel as good today, whatever. Let's work on it. Like, how do we do this? So I don't think he has time to do that.
Yeah. Swan Song says Jed's marketing strategy is like keeping up with the 49ers shins. 49ers in the news cycle, his job is done. Jimmy Garoppolo will be the news cycle in offseason.
The gift that keeps on giving. I love covering this team. I love
it. Me too. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just as much drama as like the Cowboys. I feel like there's a lot of people who make livings big time just talking about that team. And the Niners have the same potential. It's just they don't get the same national coverage as the Cowboys.
And that's the other thing is like people are like, well, you guys are fishing for content. No, the content smacks us in the face. On Christmas Eve, you wake up to a like tweet. Like, what the hell?
I often think of myself as a fisherman. Like I'm going out and I'm looking for stories. And most of the time I feel like the fish are jumping in the boat. And I'm just like trying to catch as many as possible without letting them get out of the boat because they were in the boat. And my job is to not let them get out. But really, I don't do anything. It's so easy.
Yeah. And it's not so easy. It's not going away because no matter what happens in this game, no matter what happens, and as a 49er fan, guilty as charged. I want the 49ers to win. I don't give a damn who starts. It's not in my power. So I don't get mad about things like that. Right? I want them to win. But if they lose, good Lord, the discussions all off season are going to be incredible.
Yeah. I'd prefer them to win too because, they're going to lose eventually. You can always get there. But if they lose before the playoffs, I mean, God, that's the kind of toxic conversation that I live for.
The discussion around banana hands, crows, about what happened with Jimmy. Like, why did you not do this with Trey? Was this a lost season? This stuff is writing itself right now. All we're doing is just like, I'm reaping all the benefits, literally, from Wedding Singer. We don't have to do any fishing. That's why people are like, oh, you're clickbaiting. The team is clickbait. The entire team is clickbait. What the hell, man?
Good point. Arium44 says Kyle is horrible as second half game manager. If they lose Sunday, Jed hires Dad Mike as the second half coach next season. Kyle game plans, first 25 plays only. Kyle, please don't lose this game and miss the playoffs. I don't know what's going to happen if you miss the playoffs. I don't think you'll get fired, but something weird is going to happen to your franchise if you miss this game. You got to win this game. This is
everything's weird about this franchise. Here's some advice for 49ers fans, and this is life advice as well, too, that we're going into 2022 with. Prioritize yourself. Because this franchise does not give a damn about you, and a lot of other people aren't. Prioritize yourself, enjoy yourself, and don't let this affect you too much. Because if you try to like hone in on all this too much, you are gonna find yourself sick at the end of this game if something bad happens. And look, man, just prioritize your mental health in 2022. Everybody,
and maybe don't be so ready to like just give up hella money to the organization. Like instead, before you buy that red 94 throwback jersey, let them make the playoffs. Get the. I'm just saying Jed I feels good as long as the money's pouring in, and it's been pouring in for like 10 years consistently ever since Levi's got built, which kind of justifies that whole thing. Anyway, maybe Niner fans like be a little judicious with your spending and reward the 49ers.
Prioritize your mental health.
Don't be so faithful all the time.
Right. Yeah. If there's a relationship that you're in where you feel you're second, prioritize yourself always in any relationship, whether that's a team,
King.
Right, that's it. Prioritize yourself, kings and queens. Okay, don't let this
kings and queens. That's right. Michael Hamilton says Niners win great. Niners lose great. End of Jimmy era. I wonder if Niner fans will really feel that way. I don't think they're going to feel that way in the moment. Great, we missed the playoffs. If Saints lose, Jimmy loses to Rams. Does Trey get to play Rams in the playoff game? That's a good question. Saints lose. Jimmy loses to Rams. Huh?
Look,
I don't know.
I've said this on a few of my streams, but the 49ers are not only playing for the 49er fan base, they are playing for America. And let me explain. America, if the Saints make it, you have to watch Taysom Hill, quarterback, in a playoff game. 49er fans, I know we want them to be in. Like, I want them to be in. I'm predicting them to win this game. Spoiler alert. But America is begging the 49ers to get in because it means that you won't have to watch Taysom Hill pretend to play quarterback.
Or hear that conversation about the Taysom Hill. Yeah. Jamaican Boy says, this is going to sound terrible, but I hope the Niners lose so we can get a show with Hyphy Grant and Spicy Aponte dropping F-bombs about the Niners.
Hey, we should do that one on Patreon because I'm not trying to get your channel taken down or anything like that. And you know what? We could do that, but I just need a few drinks, and then that'll loosen my tongue, and I'll just go crazy. I'll just I'll let it fly.
Well, maybe we'll have to do that next week because I've learned that you can actually drop F-bombs on YouTube. It's something that you're allowed to do. Hey, Neil says, I had a nightmare last night, 2016 Rams, 2019 Saints.
That's a night. That is absolutely lose-lose. The 49ers lose, and then you have to watch Taysom Hill on Wild Card Saturday. Help
And it's
me,
scary
Lord.
because it's so realistic. 2016 Rams, that sounds like a score that actually could happen. All right. More questions. I remember back earlier in the year, the Niners have said so many things this year, and their story has changed so many times. But I remember one thing they said when asked about when is Trey going to play. They kind of deflected by saying, like, when he's ready, everyone will know it. It really won't be anything you have to discuss. You'll see it. He'll be ready. It'll be his time. My question to you is, now that you've seen 2.5 games from him, has he passed that threshold in your mind? Does he look ready to you?
I think that's a complicated question. What I'll say is this, because I don't know if he's ready. I am very encouraged, and for 2 reasons. Both of those games that he started, right? Those games exactly, the first game did not go his way. Whether that's play calling, the fact that Kittle wasn't there, Trent wasn't in the game, they weren't getting 4th downs. It was the Arizona Cardinals. Everything was going wrong in that game, and the kid kept fighting. And he was injured. He gets injured in that game, and he kept fighting. Now, fast forward to this Texans game, and the same thing that you saw in terms of the shaky beginning, the kid always felt like he was still poised. He never felt like he was out of control, or he never let things get to him.
Like he expected to win.
Right. So
Yeah.
is he ready? That I don't know, but I feel way more encouraged than ever that he is based on those things. And opponents be damned. I don't want to hear it, because the same way that everybody was like, man, you got to watch out for Davis Mills. Here come the Texans. They just beat the Chargers. It's the damn Texans. So you can't have it both ways. In one week, you can't tell me, oh, you got to watch out for Davis Mills and the Texans, then say, oh, well, he beat the Texans. Nah, y'all got to pick a side. Y'all got to pick a side here. And
the Texans beat the Titans.
Right. For me, the Chargers beat themselves in that Texans game, which is why I largely was not worried about them. The Chargers lost that game more than the Texans won that game. And also, the Chargers can't stop a nosebleed on run defense. Yeah. That's why Rex Burkhead looked like Gale Sayers.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. It's like, again, games are matchup dependent. I don't care what they did to the Chargers. I never worried that they were going to beat the 49ers. The 49ers would have had to vomit all over themselves to lose that game. So in terms of that, things didn't really go the way that it was looking, right? And when you frame it like that, well, you only scored 3 points in the first half. It could have got scary, but Trey didn't buckle. And that's the thing, is Kyle even was like, all right, let's lock in. He made that second half adjustment, and boom, you got to see the glimpses of what this offense could look like. 40-yard throw that the ball didn't leave the screen, was on a rope. Like, that wasn't underthrown. It was thrown exactly where it needs to be. Have you ever seen that? When's the last time you saw a go route? A straight go route up the sideline thrown. Kaepernick?
He didn't even throw that many of those. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
And if Ayuk's arm isn't held, that's a Sports Center highlight touchdown. That's something that if Mahomes did it, that's like top 10, all like over and over replayed. So you saw the glimpses. Is he ready? I don't know. Am I encouraged more than ever? Absolutely, just based on those things.
I guess, how can you answer that question unless we have a clearly agreed upon definition of ready, which is the whole thing with that. There is no definition of ready. To me, what I saw, that looked like ready. In the first half, what it looked like was a little bit of rust and a little bit of the play caller not having a good feel. By the second half, I thought the feel was there and the rust was gone. And I saw a guy who really was doing things I didn't see at North Dakota State. The anticipation throws from straight dropbacks in the pocket. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Wow. I mean, I do think that he's shown that he's not a liability. The Niners can win with them. He's not going to go out there and lose the game on his own. He's definitely worthy of starting the development process now. Only problem is it's a little late in the year. Games are really big, and the Niners have kind of committed themselves to this other path.
And but the real tell for me should have been conservative Kyle at the end of the half. Yeah, you only got 3 points, but you still pushed the ball down the field. And Trey was able to move the ball, right? He didn't do what he normally did with Jim.
Everything. To me, before that drive, Kyle's like, I don't trust this guy's arm at all. And he's not ready. And then he's like, I don't have any choice but to trust his arm on this drive. And after he was like, damn, all right, I didn't expect that. Okay, all right, Rook. All right, Rook. Nice job. And then that sort of earned him more rope in the second half.
Yeah, that's it. And again, so you'll never know unless you do the development, but I'm more encouraged than ever.
If Kyle starts Jimmy G, then he officially wins the worst coach of the year. We're going to talk about that. Grant, we really dodged a bullet with the COVID. Who sits next to Jimmy Ward in the locker room? Yes, Trey Lance. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing, too. There's been like whispers around that the way the 49ers have kind of dodged the whole COVID, things is that they've just been doing this.
Wow.
We're not testing. We're not testing. We're not testing. We're not testing.
Interesting.
So, I mean, look, can you argue with the results? No. But if you come in coughing and stuff like that, then they're going to be like, yo, you need to get tested.
Yeah, no choice. So, yeah. Yep. How did so many people get, anyway, bad week to have the entire second? We're going to talk about that later. James says, Niners should start Trey and come out and go no huddle. Lance looked really comfortable running the 2-minute offense.
The only thing that doesn't work with that is if you score too fast. And I don't want them to get into a shootout, especially if that secondary's out. You can't get into a shootout with them.
Good call. That is a good point.
That's it. I love that idea because Trey is super comfortable in 2 minutes. Super comfortable. But this whole idea needs to be one of those slow. Right. One of these.
He did none of them in college. Sorry, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, keep going.
So the game is going to be based on how the 49ers came out in that first Rams game. 11-minute drive. Now you've got 2 minutes to mess around in the first quarter, and you already start to feel like, all right, we can't stop these guys, and we're getting folded again physically. So that's the thing. It'll look more exciting. If you want yourself a 37-31 game, then go ahead and do that. But I just don't like the 49ers' chances in that game if the secondary can't play.
That's not an answer, Jason. Jason, which quarterback will start on Sunday and why? And yes, this is being recorded, and everyone's going to come back if you're wrong and go, No, you need to tell me right now which quarterback's going to start on Sunday. I need to know.
Screw it. Let's get crazy. Trey Lance starts out of necessity.
I agree.
Out of necessity. Because is Jimmy Garoppolo the type of quarterback and I'm not talking about from a physical standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Like a Rodgers, like a Mahomes. Like if Mahomes is out all week and they just say, hey, he's good to go for Sunday.
This is exactly where I was going to go. We have the same thought process. Thank you. Keep going. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you're not taking the first team reps, what game plan is being installed? Are you installing the same exact game plan for Jimmy and Trey? Because that wouldn't necessarily play to both of their skill sets, right? So this is where we need to find out, which is why all those throws early on, that's cute. That's real cute. But who's taking the first team reps?
Thank you. And I want to say real quick is if it's Trey and he's getting all the first team reps, which I think is happening, then that means that Jimmy's very rusty. He hasn't taken a rep with the offense since that game in Thursday. And you know, the last time he played a game when he was rusty, it was that Indianapolis game. And he threw 2 picks and they got beat by 12. So maybe he's not the kind of guy that you feel real comfortable with coming off an injury where he hasn't practiced in 2.5 weeks.
Right. Like if it's one of those quarterbacks, and I don't want to name drop anybody because then people will say that I'm comparing them physically. I'm talking about from a mental standpoint where if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play all week or doesn't practice all week, who cares?
Who cares?
He's going
on Sunday, please.
He's got the offense. He's got the offense. It doesn't matter. You're not changing anything, right? And
the difference between him and Jordan Love is the difference between, Raekwon the chef and some chef down the street. It's just a whole different thing. Yes.
Beautiful Wu-Tang. Beautiful Wu-Tang preference, by the way. But yes, absolutely. I'm going to go with Trey Lance and whatever. Just cut this if Jimmy makes it and just be like, ha. But guess what? Joke's on you. I hedged my bet because I want the 49ers to win either way. I don't care who the quarterback is. But I just don't think that with Jimmy Garoppolo, he's the type of guy who can't take first team reps and then all of a sudden you can just run with the same game plan. What game plan are you installing on Thursday? Yeah. You only have one more practice tomorrow. So if he's not taking first team reps and he's just working on his thumb the entire time, that means you're confident with Jimmy Garoppolo being able to just work on his thumb and just being like, hey, man, here's the game plan. This is what we've been running. Go for it. Run it.
And I know they like Jimmy, and I know they feel they can win with Jimmy, but I don't know if they're that confident in Jimmy. Like, you have a torn ligament in your hand. You haven't really practiced all week. You've thrown a football, but you haven't. We don't know, but I'm assuming he hasn't taken many, if any, first-team reps. And you just got to feel like, he's less than 100%. I don't know what the percentage would be, 70? And he's rusty as hell. So Kyle has to be honest with himself. You can't really just assume that rusty injured Jimmy gives you the best chance to win this week, even though it's hard to say that rookie Trey Lance does either. I just think that the right answer here is Trey. The right answer, even though he's inexperienced.
And the thing is if he gets a full practice in tomorrow, if that's the designation they give him, then boom, is Jimmy. Because I think then I think they can do a one-day thing where they're just like, hey man, remember that game plan from the last time we played them? We're pretty much just going to duplicate that. It's going to be the same.
Let's do a walkthrough today.
Yeah, let's just do it in one more walkthrough and that's it. But if he's one of these things where it's like, oh, he was limited today, I don't know, man, because I have a feeling he's not taking those first team reps. Why? How can you? And especially when you saw how well Trey looked working under center.
Yeah,
he looked much better than a lot of people thought he would. Remember, because that's I don't know if he could play under center. They run a bunch of pistol, they run a bunch of shotgun, and yeah, he did it over there. It's just a lot of people have had that sort of trepidation for no reason. Like
Hold on, let's go back to what you said though. If he's a full participant Friday, that's a good indicator that he's going to play. If he's limited
I think so.
for a walkthrough, it's a good indicator that he won't. So something to watch. We're guessing, but that should be a real good indicator right there.
Thumb watch continues.
Thumb watch. Jimmy Gate, no Thumbgate. As a fan, I just want to win. It's just fun to be in the playoffs. Kyle, don't steal my fun, please. Oh, Kyle, the wrath that you will feel right now.
Chrissy, prioritize yourself, girl. Prioritize yourself, girl.
It's true. I like that. Do Niners qualify for Hard Knocks if they miss the playoffs?
No.
No?
I think you have to
be one of the worst teams?
Oh, that'll be twice. Right?
What?
That'll be 2 times in a row. I think so. I don't know the parameters around that.
I'd like to see them have to do that because it'd be their worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I'd like to see. The Asher says Kyle's holding back his quarterbacks and treating Trey Lance as a runner and not a quarterback. But that all changed at the end of the first half, and I liked it.
Sure did.
It all changed. My opinion.
Sure did.
Will Kittle hit 1,000 yards this season?
What does he need?
Let me look.
Here's why I'll say no. Because I do think so. Let's operate under the assumption that Trey's going to play. It's not that Trey doesn't like Kittle. It's
he's
just
at 900 yards.
He needs 100. No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If Jimmy plays, maybe. But if what I'm operating under that is Trey, they're going to run the ball so much that they're going to need him run blocking, and he'll get a few catches, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to get 100.
Richard's Remedy says Norman dodged COVID because he ain't near anybody. Not funny, Richard.
Well,
not funny.
Social distance, right?
Too soon. Rams safeties and linebackers are scrubs. That is a problem.
He's right.
That's one of the reasons the Niners own them. Good call, Tommy. Right. After getting RG says after getting his first win off his back, I think Trey will get off to a good start and Stafford will be reeling, trying to make plays to keep up. Well, that would be best case scenario. Absolutely.
I'm telling you, man, the Rams would have lost last week if Lamar Jackson was healthy.
Right. Can you ask Kyle if Jimmy's getting snaps? Oh, he'll answer that one. Yeah, tomorrow. Dude. I'll say, Kyle, can you tell me exactly how many snaps Jimmy Garoppolo?
I love it. I love it. Please ask him because he's going to be like, I'm not telling you, man.
Follow up. Please tell me. How many times has Jimmy chosen to not play when he has an injury that wouldn't stop someone else? He'll take it out anytime he can get. Not my quarterback. I mean, I guess that's what Martellus Bennett said about him. I have no idea. No one ever knows. What do you think? I don't know.
I don't know. I think that he can't do this again because now who's
Words out.
Trade for you? Yeah.
Words out. The Goose says America should pray the Niners make the playoffs. Nobody wants to watch the Saints team led by Taysom Hill in the playoffs. Bad enough Eagles are in. What's wrong with the Eagles? I like Jalen Hurts.
I think he's playing actually pretty well right now. But they listen, they got in the playoffs because they got to play their own division a bunch.
True. Kyle, don't run Trey up the gut. MLB knocked Trey out.
I think if Jimmy's in there, they know that thumb's messed up. What are they gonna do? Go after that hand? You don't have to hit him in the hand, right? No. You can get your hand on his thumb.
That's it. All you gotta do is tap it. You don't think? I have a feeling defensive coordinators might mention that to their players. I know that you can't talk about that, but remember how that guy from the Saints was talking about. I mean, they remind players of the injuries and stuff. Referees love Trey, says District 13. They'll give us the calls. Maybe that's the secret.
That is a secret
benefit of starting Trey. All right,
because they don't love Jimmy. Jimmy got hurt when he got body slammed.
Who loves Jimmy? His mom loves him. All right. Can the 49ers beat Can the 49ers beat the Rams without Trent Williams? The reason I ask is he has an elbow injury and did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. Like not limited like Jimmy, like not practicing at all. He's a guy that could play without practicing, but this seems like his injury is worse than Jimmy's. I'm not asking you to guess whether he'll play. I guess we'll find out. Unless you have a sense. Do you think they can win this game if he doesn't play?
I think Trent does play.
Okay.
And I think that they
because it's a big game. He'll find a way.
And I think they can't win without Trent.
Which is why he'll play.
Yes.
They'll say, hey, Trent, we can't win without you.
But also, Trent is one of those set it and forget it guys. Remember how we talked about you need to get one limited session in? No. This is Trent Williams, bro. This is Trent Williams. He's the best in the world. Like listen, we don't need you, bro. We need you Sunday. Go ice up, go chill out. Like I'm not as worried. I understand that there is a little bit of risk because he's not practicing tomorrow either. But Trent's up. But if Trent don't go, they won't win.
Right. They won't. He's that important. He's that valuable. So I just want look, I don't mean to be alarmist here. And as you pointed out, he'll probably play. But these are stories that I think are important. And they're totally going under the radar because it's quarterback week, of course. It's quarterback year. But the left tackle hasn't practiced all week, Niner fans. You might want to just read up on that a little bit. Call up his agent, see what's up. Maybe you call him up. See if he'll answer your phone call.
Be like, yo, Trent, what up? He's going to be like, how'd you get this number? Who the hell
Grant's
is this?
I'm going to call you. It's Grant's. That's fault.
Hello?
Will Mitchell hit 1,000 yards? He's at 878. He practiced today.
Yeah, he did. So that means he needs, I'm bad at math, 122? No.
Yes.
Because again, the game plan isn't necessarily that Mitchell needs to rip off large runs. He needs to keep, if Jimmy plays, right? He needs to keep, and Trey, right? I think this goes both ways. He's going to need to keep them in safe down and distance. Nothing too crazy, nothing like that. And again, eat up the clock. So again, he had, 27 for 91? It's not going to knock your socks off, but that was so effective because of the chewing of the clock, right? And I think that's the difference between that. So I'm going to say no, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah, Frank says if Trey starts and wins convincingly against the Rams, do we stick with him throughout the playoffs? I would freaking hope so. Yeah. But, I mean, we don't even know if he's going to play.
Well, the hope amongst 49ers fans, even if you're a Jimmy Garoppolo fan and Trey is that he goes on this run of, people don't know him and he gets unleashed and he starts to go crazy, right? So I think that's – right, yeah. Exactly. Again, the parallels aren't the same. Kaepernick was older. He had a year to sit, those things. He had a coach that was waiting – to get him on the field was just like, all right, here's my shot. And he didn't flip flop. Yeah. He didn't flip flop. He was just like, it's go time. This is my guy and we're rolling with him.
Yeah. And I'm going to be way more aggressive with my play calling than I was with Alex Smith because I want to show that I want him to take Alex Smith's job. Yeah. Please. Right. As opposed to Kyle who's like, I don't want to make this awkward for the guys. Yeah, exactly.
So there's the difference, right? There's a difference between the two. But I think that the hope amongst 49er fans is that if Trey does get them into the playoffs or they do get there, is that the unknown of what he can do turns into problems. And again, week to week, you don't have much on the kid. And if he continues to stride, then that's what you want as a 49er fan. You want to become that team that's like, man, here's a guy who's going to be making plays all game and we don't know what to expect from him. I think that's a thought.
Chad says, I'm sure it looks better for Kyle to sneak into the postseason, but what is the point if it's a one and done with Thumbelina? That was funny. Lack of film on Trey gives defenses more to worry about. Dude, if Jimmy's good to go and says it and the Niners go with Trey and they lose, Niner fans will lose their mind. This is a very tough position to be in for the head coach, and I don't envy him. He has to make a very critical decision here. It's very important. It's a huge decision.
I'm just sitting here waiting. I just want to have a discussion about it. That's it. Hey, look, Kyle. You put yourself in this position, bro. Yeah, this is it. You got to work
yourself out. Nah, man, it's right back in your face.
Hey, man, yeah. Your calculation, we're gonna find out, bro. But this is not going away. This is not gonna be like, oh well, they lost. That's it. No. We're gonna talk about this for months.
Yeah, and you'll either be the guy who made the right decision and is a genius, or the guy who made the wrong decision and is I don't know what the word will be. David says if it fucking hurts to throw the ball, Jimmy Garoppolo. Woo! It hurts to watch you throw too, Niner fans. Lance progressed more in one game than Jimmy G has in 4 years. Well, look, it's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault that he's mediocre. I mean, how we've been he's taken a lot of criticism in his career for being mediocre. Is it a crime? Is it a crime to be mediocre? When you get paid that much, I guess.
Mediocre. He's a starter.
He is a starter. That makes him one of the best in the world.
Right.
He's just mediocre in his class of starters.
His tier.
Jeremy says if Philly loses on Saturday, does that affect SF's approach to this game? Are we in if they lose? No.
They're in.
No, they're in.
They're in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, they're in. Well, they can thank their schedule maker. The Giants, the Redskins, the Giants, the Washington football team, and the Giants. Or was it flipped? It was the Washington, the Giants, and then Washington. All they had to do was win 3 games against inferior teams. Come on.
That's true. Michael says, who was a better game, Ayuk or Debo, and what about that worst coach of the year award? Oh, well, that's a different topic. Ayuk or Debo? So Debo usually destroys the Rams, right?
Debo.
Yeah. It's a Debo game. Week 18, they need Debo to step up. Where's Coach of the Year award?
But
Kyle.
Ayuk had his best receiving game this past week with Trey Lance, and who worked out with Trey Lance?
Ayuk.
So here's the thing.
Ayuk starts.
And here's the thing: is the thing that Debo does very well is he's precise with his routes, and Jimmy wants to get the ball out on time and be in rhythm. I feel like Ayuk freestyles a little bit more, and it works because him and Lance have worked together.
True.
So, I know this isn't a fantasy football show, but if I'm in a dynasty league, I'm just sending all offers for Brandon Ayuk because of what it's going to be with Trey Lance. And I think it's like immediately one game, he has his best game of the season receiving. That's not a coincidence. And let me tell you this. We rip on the Texans. Number 8 pass defense, and I think they're like top 10 in takeaways. So the one thing they did well was defend the pass. Yep. It wasn't the run game that they defended well. So that's another thing, right? And he would have had way more if he doesn't have his arm pulled down and he brings in that touchdown. So
that's true. Plus, they should have had that running touchdown too. Scott says, "Come on, Matty Ice, one time before Pickett takes your job."
Felipe Franks, baby.
Hard pick to me. I don't know about that. Isn't he hurt too?
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see him in Mobile.
Clint. Oh yeah. Clint says Eli, aka Baby LaShawn, aka Baby LaShawn McCoy.
Really?
E-Man and the rest of the secondary being healthy are the keys to this game. Whoever starts at quarterback, but please start Trey.
I love what Elijah Mitchell's doing, but man, LaShawn McCoy, they cut on a dime. I don't know if he's that, man. LaShawn McCoy was special, man, with the way that he made cuts, man. I mean, Elijah Mitchell's having a great year. Like,
same jersey number though.
Oh yeah. All right, there you go.
Wobbly ball Lance is going to get picked off 5 times by Ramsey. Just by Ramsey. Dumb move to scramble against Miller and Donald. We need quick release Jimmy.
Oh, but it's a bot.
It's a bot. But it's actually a very good, approximation of what someone like that might say.
There you go. You got bots in here, man.
All right. DB's on the COVID list. So far, it's Jimmy Ward, Dante Johnson, K'Wan Williams, Diamador.
K'Wan's really on it? I thought he missed it. I have to check.
Ambry Thomas, pretty sure it's K'Wan and Diamador. Let me get back to you on that. But are you concerned about this in any way? Are you concerned about any players missing the game? And are you concerned about their conditioning? Let's talk about it. These are DBs.
Oh yeah, K'Wan is on COVID. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, so these guys are sick. They're not practicing, and their conditioning could be affected. They run a lot. It's not like Mitch Wishnowsky, who was on it last week. So what was your level of concern here?
Big. And the biggest level of concern. I mean, it could be a softer landing because Emmanuel Mosley's back. Jimmy Ward's
he's practicing this week, which is important. Yeah.
Jimmy Ward's invaluable.
Yeah.
Jimmy Ward's invaluable. And you noticed he was out the week before in that Rams game, an immediate impact. And he called a player meeting, him, Armstead, and I believe it was Fred Warner. But his impact was felt immediately. He takes away Cooper Kupp when they need to. I don't care how many yards Cooper Kupp had in that game. That was in garbage time. Jimmy Ward is invaluable. And this is not the game to not have him. So that scares the hell out of me. I know everybody loves K'Wan Williams, but I think a lot of what he gives is in the run defense. He's
the occasional blitz. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But Jimmy Ward, he can't miss this game. He can't miss this game, man. And look, love Tart. He can do a lot of things that Jimmy Ward does, but you need them as a tandem.
Yeah.
I don't know who would be taking his place, but it's never going to be the level of those two guys. Jimmy Ward is the one that freaks me out, man. That's the part where things can get really
again, if he can't play, who is it that's replacing him?
I don't know.
Tavon Wilson's been on IR for a long time. Hafunga's been out for a while.
Yeah, I don't know
who it is.
I don't know, man. I don't know. You can't really run. Like, I don't know if you can do the single high. Like, Tart can play single, like high or whatever. That's fine. But it's just the flexibility of him being able to come down and cover and for him to play in the run game. And it's just, and you can stop the run in too high while stopping off the explosive plays. It's a massive miss.
No matter what Kyle decides at quarterback, they're in a tough spot because of this.
So if your defense has got one arm tied behind his back, then your offense has to be damn near perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And even with Jimmy, your offense isn't built for the quick strike. It's built to have long drives. And if your DBs are giving up big plays left and right because they're not in good shape or they're, whatever, then that offensive approach won't work. It won't be good enough. I don't know, man.
And Norman got benched. And now
he has to
now he has to play.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, all that stuff we said about you last week when we replaced you with Dante Johnson.
Please be in position this week. Please, when it's fire zone blitz, please play it like man instead of zone. Please do your job this time. No.
Please do your job. They're at the please do your job level with Josh Norman. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, if the Niners lose this game, a lot of hate's going to come down on the quarterback. It's a quarterback-driven league, but it's probably important to remember this right here. This is going to be a very big factor.
This is the scariest part right here. This is scary hours. And anybody but Jimmy, man. Ward.
There's a bunch of questions left. I'm going to get to them in a minute, but we have one more topic. I want to get right to it. We've listed concerns. I have a bigger concern that I haven't talked about. What is your biggest concern heading into this game for the 49ers?
What's the secondary going to look like?
Okay.
And that was it. I laid it out. That's a doomsday scenario that Jimmy Ward is not there. And I don't care what anybody says. It's a huge deal. The flexibility, being able to move around, the leadership in a big game too. This is just not the time to have all that right now. Like, this was the worst possible time because Jimmy Ward matches up so well with what the Rams do. The secondary, man, this is where, look, you get away with it with Jared Goff. He's not good. I don't care how bad Matthew Stafford has been playing. He can pick on that. And McVay lately has been getting Odell Beckham involved. It's not necessarily that Odell Beckham is the guy that you saw with the Giants. He's absolutely diminished. That's very fair. But McVay's getting him open in creative ways and getting him the ball, and he's still very valuable, right? So you have Cooper Kupp who's going to be running around now. Who's going to cover him?
Yeah.
Now, they're in the red zone. They're going to Odell Beckham now. Van Jefferson is over the top now. This is where the doomsday scenario comes in. And if your offense isn't perfect and you're not executing 8, 9, 10-minute drives and they're putting up points immediately and whoever's the quarterback has to get into a shootout or come back, this is not the way to do it. And another concern I have, here's a bigger concern. You roll Jimmy out there. Jimmy comes out and you start airmailing throws. He's fumbling the football. You get down 17-0.
Now what?
Kyle says, hey, Trey, get in there. Save us.
Save our season.
No.
That's a big concern. It's not fair to ask him to do that. In fact,
that is not fair.
It's not fair. Okay. I have a bigger concern. To me, this is the biggest concern, but it's always my biggest concern with the 49ers, period. Kyle has a big decision to make this week. And it's not going to make itself in the sense that I think Jimmy's going to do just enough in practice to put himself in position to play. Trey Lance did more than enough against the Texans to put himself in position to play. Kyle has to make a decision. And I don't trust him making decisions. For whatever reason, he just doesn't seem to be good at it. And when faced with a big one, more often than not, he makes the wrong decision. I think we both feel the right decision is to play Lance. I think, and we both gave reasons why we think he might make that decision, but ultimately, Kyle being Kyle, I think he'll make the wrong decision. I think he'll start injured Jimmy Garoppolo, who's rusty, and I think it's going to burn him. Now, it's possible that neither quarterback would win this game, as we pointed out. Like, this is a very tough game, and it's possible that Lance wouldn't do better, but I think he's the right choice. I think Kyle, I don't want to say that Kyle's going to make the wrong choice. My concern is that he's a bad decision maker, and that a big factor in this game is this decision. It's a huge decision. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's good. It's going to be the thing we talk about all off season. This is, again, perfect way to end this chaotic season, this chaotic year for the 49ers. And this is
because he's like trying to avoid making the decision all year.
Yeah,
right?
And now it's of your doing. Right, and now it's of your doing now. Right, exactly. And you're going to get second guess, third guess if this doesn't play out the way that you think. Like, there is, and then the other thing too is I get scared that if Trey plays and he plays well and they lose, oh well, see, no.
Jimmy would have won.
Yeah, no. You don't get that. You don't get that either. So evaluate the kid, again, accordingly in his third start. I'm going to make sure that we put that out there one more time. Make sure that it's his third start, right? But if he goes out there and lights it up, don't just say, well, we own the Rams. No. Everybody got to be fair here too. So, yeah, man, we're just going to have a bunch to talk about.
District 13 says Goodell will make sure Lance gets in the playoffs because he loves Lance when he was crying on his way to the podium during the draft. Oh, man, intrigue. I didn't know about that. Goodell's like, that kid was so nice. We had a moment. We got to make sure. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what billionaires do in their free time. George Larmy says, I don't know what that guy just said about Jimmy Garoppolo throwing through the middle, getting picked off by Ramsey. We need a quarterback that can move. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
He's not going to test Ramsey unless he's just airmailing it over his head to Ramsey. That. Oh, no. Well, he said that about Lance.
Yeah. To me, Lance actually he threw that interception, but to me, that was like, Kyle's like, You have to throw it. You're supposed to throw to Kittle on this play, and he just did it. To me, there were a lot of times where actually he had open guys and he wouldn't. He's a little conservative by nature.
I think he's rigid in, well, this is the read and that's it.
Yeah.
This is what. So here's the thing: is he'll look at where the defense is, and he'll tell the quarterback, "Hey man, if they give you this look, up the seam. This is it." But then when you don't see that, right? That's where Jimmy's just like, "Well, Kyle said, what happened, bro? Like you said, you know." So
he's like, "Well, you still have to like be an athlete and look at the field. You know, I'm trying to give you a hint here, but I'm not telling you what to do." Yeah.
But Kyle will say, like, in 2019, when he said that, like, yo, up the seam, this is what you're going to get. It was right. Now, when it's not right, it's like, Jimmy's coming back like, dude, you told me, man.
Yeah. And I think there was a little bit of that going on with the pick from Lance. Jody Moore says, hey, guys, maybe you discussed already, but what message is the franchise sending to Lance with their decision to start Jimmy Garoppolo? The same message they've been sending him all year, which is a strange message. Did I lose you?
Yeah.
Not same message that they're not wavering, that no matter what he does in practice or games, he's not ready. Keneal says Trey is everything most of us thought he was. Physically and mentally feels good to be so right. I agree. He will build on that second half. He grows by the snap. If he starts, he will beat LA. He is the one. Oh, I love that confidence. The one. Yeah. He's Neo.
Yep. That new Matrix movie was terrible. Matrix.
Thank you, Keneal. We're trying to help Kyle here, but he's determined to listen to his dad or something. I don't know. Jody says, I have been highly critical of Kittle and how it looks like he has been hating on Trey. Did you guys hear him mic'd up and how he was loving on Trey during the game? Have we been wrong about Kittle? Maybe Trey just proved himself, and Kittle's like, all right. Now
I don't think that. I never really thought that Kittle wasn't going to support Trey or anything like that. Yeah. But also, he knew he was mic'd up.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the right answer. That's why Jason is Jason. That's the right answer. He knew he was mic'd up. End of story. And Tony, it's probably his agent said, dude, you're mic'd up. Go to Trey. Say something nice. Just saying. Antonio says with the DB problem, Ryan's has two. Man, this is. Let me try again.
Ryan has to blitz a linebacker every fresh set of downs at least once. Make Matthew Stafford uncomfortable and run the ball well is key.
See, 49ers coast to coast. That's the official way to type comments on this show. I'm just saying he's just sticking with the theme. I like it.
I love it.
Yeah, blitzing a lot.
Well, if Aziz doesn't play, because that's another thing that people aren't talking about is, but Greenlaw might be there. That helps a little bit as well too. It's just I'm more concerned with the secondary. I think they got to find a way to get pressure consistently so they don't have that secondary depending on who plays in bad positions. And again, everything that goes where we talk about on defense has a lot to do. The best defense in this game is going to be the offense. You have to keep them off the field and keep pounding them to the point where they fold. They just completely fold because the Rams will fold if you keep hitting them in the mouth. They don't want to play that style of game. They're not built like that.
That's true. Tristan Fernandez says, anyone miss Witherspoon, DJ Reed, and Sharman?
Akel's balling.
DJ Reed would be nice. I don't know. What's up with him? Is he doing anything?
Since Data Hub over the last 6 weeks has him as the best coverage cornerback in the league.
DJ Reed? Wow.
Akel Witherspoon.
No way. No way. Hey,
look
good
it
for
up.
him.
Look it up.
He's
doing his thing again where he's like,
wow. Well,
look it up on his Data Hub.
He was always more talented than his lack of confidence would allow him to show, and he's playing behind a great front seven, so good for him.
Don't read this. Don't read it.
Ooh, yeah.
Move on.
Sorry. Let me unclick that. But sorry, I didn't read it. Eric says, I know you aren't a Niner fan, but I'm curious, you ever cheer when a player does something cool in games, or are you silent? Media room, any sounds at all or silence?
Can't root in the press box.
You can't root in the press box. No, I'm quiet. No, I don't. Sorry.
He is a Niners fan though, Eric, but he can't root in the press box. He'll just turn like this.
My card. Ward equals didn't Lance play safety in high school? Yeah, maybe Lance gonna have to go two ways in this one.
Man, that would be amazing. That would be how you get your third pick to
Trey. You're starting at free
safety.
Yeah. I'm 100% confident in Trey Lance that he can beat the Rams. The Rams were struggling against a backup quarterback in Baltimore. I feel that Trey Lance will definitely decimate that defense. Me too. That's why we're trying to get the Niners to do the right thing. Do the right thing.
That's what I'm saying.
People mic'd up felt gross and forced. Trey equals 68 Rams, 68 what? Trey equals 68 Rams, 68 W? I don't know. But yeah, the other part forced. We're almost done. Antonio says if Rams stop our run, who has a better chance to get in a shootout? Broken thumb Jimmy or big play strong arm Trey Lance. Trey Lance, please and thank you.
But the
that's what I'm saying. If they fall behind, how do you ask Jimmy to get them back?
But the way to win this game is not going to be that way for either of them. Trey will make it interesting. He'll make some plays, but that's not fair to ask him in his third game. Hey man, must win, gotta have it all on the road against a division rival. Man, hey, they're up 21-0. Make sure you.
Yeah, we can't really call play action anymore, but go drop back 50 times and win.
Throw us back in the game. That's not fair. You don't want that. That's an exciting game, but you don't want that.
If you ask me, I thought everything Kittle was telling Lance was condescending, like he wasn't worthy until that TD to Debo Niner gang not faithful. It's crazy how, man, I didn't even instigate that. Niner fans are on their own with that one. I haven't even really listened to it. I couldn't tell you.
Nah, he just look, man. I don't think that it's that. I think that again. I'm gonna go back to whatever. I'm trying to rationalize this. George Kittle's only seen success with Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, he's cool with him, but I don't think he's ever openly rooted against Trey. Right. And I just think that like Kyle Shanahan, many of those guys in that locker room feel like Jimmy gives them the best chance to win, whether you like it or not. I think that's it. But I don't think he's rooting against Trey.
Ninerbot says he doesn't support Trey, so he gets his comment ignored. Laughing my butt off. Trey has the ugliest spiral he's ever seen and got saved by the refs on that DPI. He's not ready. This is a very sophisticated bot.
Does not compute.
It's a very sophisticated bot. It really sounds like a true Jimmy Stan. I mean,
is that the bot from Grandma's Boy? Remember?
Yeah.
I am a genius.
See, to me, as the first minute I met Kyle Shanahan when I was in the introductory press conference, I was like, oh my God, it's the dude from Grandma's Boy. It's the genius from Grandma's Boy. And I think he's seen up a little bit since then, but yeah, that's it is.
What is it? Just thinking about my game. How's that going? People will bow to it.
I'm sorry. I know this is about to end, but people keep throwing money right at the buzzer. Sorry, Niner bot, but you're really a sophisticated bot. We're impressed. Shout out means AD Von Floyd going to take over. Shootout means AD Von Floyd. Right. Yeah, it's true. You don't want to do that. You need to,
because then they could pin their ears back, and that's not good for anybody.
It's not good for Tom Compton.
No.
Why did we stop run game by committee? Where is Wilson? Will we use Sermon? This is how we win. I'm with you on that, Jody. What's up with that?
So look, I actually was saying, hey, it was out of necessity that he was having to do that with Mitchell, but it does seem like Kyle is just like, hey man, Mitchell, that's it. Because look, if Wilson wasn't playing as well as he was the last few weeks, I can understand it. But it's literally Mitchell every single run and then a little bit of Debo. Like it was never like, I don't understand. Like Wilson, if he looked like the guy when he first started, I might understand it. But Mitchell off the bat, 21, and then you could tell he was gassed at the end of the game because he usually house calls that one run. He was at the end like
true.
So there is a little bit of a philosophy shift here, so I got to eat my words on that a little bit.
True.
He does want him to be the bell cow.
Yeah, and I don't like it because he's every time he gets 20 carries, it seems like he's hurt the next week, and
he's already been hurt
now, but he didn't. So anyway, I just like go easy on him, please. Anyway, Keldon says, Grant, if the Niners win the Super Bowl, will you say that Kyle didn't win it good enough?
Yep.
Yeah, good enough.
Hell yeah, he will. Hell yeah.
You didn't give me $5 good enough, Keldon. Thank you.
Wow.
$5. Seth Harvey says, Trey will 68. Rams get 68th win. Learn gematria. Oh, I did not know that's where you were going with it, but thank you. That's next level. Man. That's 8D chess, which is what I think. Anyway, that's the show. That's the show. I think it's a good time to duck out before people keep it going. Thank you, everyone. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. I'm going to be in LA tomorrow night, and I don't think I'm staying at the team hotel, but you just never know. We'll see. Peace. Have a good one.